Hi, my name is Elizabeth Ayala, and this is a guide to the California ballot initiatives in the November 2016 election. This video is going to cover Propositions 62 and 66, which are both ballot initiatives concerning the death penalty. Proposition 62, death penalty. Proposition 62 would end the death penalty in California. It would switch death penalty sentences automatically to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. All inmates sentenced to life without parole would be required to work, and the maximum amount of their earnings that could be used for reparations to victims would be raised from 50 to 60%. The California Legislative Analyst estimates that Prop 62 would save the state approximately $150 million annually from shorter trials, fewer appeals to the death penalty process, and reduced prison costs based on the elimination of separate death row facilities. Prop 62 and Prop 66 conflict with each other. If for some reason they both pass, the one with the highest number of votes wins and the other is vanquished. I mean, won't apply. So, seriously, supporters say since 1978, California has sentenced 930 people to death, but performed only 13 executions at an average cost of $384 million per execution, and that abolishing the death penalty will save the state $150 million every year. And finally, abolishing the death penalty removes the risk that innocent people may be executed. Opponents say that the death penalty is broken, but ending it rewards murderers. Change the system, they say, don't end it. So opponents say changing the time-consuming and expensive appeals process is the best way to fix the death penalty, and that's how to save taxpayers' money, and that people on death row are the worst of criminals and deserve the death penalty, and that this denies justice and closure to victims' families. The total raised in support of Proposition 62 to end the death penalty is $8.9 million as of October 16th. Thomas Dyer is the number one donor. He's the hedge fund manager, environmental philanthropist. He's also a major donor in Prop 56. Nicholas McCowan is a Silicon Valley entrepreneur and professor of electrical engineer, and also a large donor against Prop 66. And Reed Hastings, who is the co-founder of Netflix, and as you've seen, a donor for Prop 57. And there's other orgs and individuals, of course. The top three funders against the measure are law enforcement groups, with the first one being a union that represents prison guards in California, the California Correctional Peace Officers Association, followed by the Peace Officers Research Association of California, followed by the California Association of Highway Patrolmen. Proposition 66. This is the second death penalty related proposition. Death penalty procedures. Basically, it's shortening the appeals process. Death penalty convictions are always automatically appealed to the California Supreme Court and may also go through a second stage of appeals in the courts. This is called habeas corpus petitions. This second stage of the appeals process can take 15 to 25 years in our experience in California. So instead of going directly to the Supreme Court, these habeas corpus petitions would be heard first by the lower courts in which the initial trials were handled, and it imposes a deadline of 5 years that has to get handled by. Habeas appeals would have to be filed within a year of counsel being appointed and would have to be decided by the courts within a year of filing. Additional appeals would be limited. So again, this is the intent of this bill is to shorten the appeals process for the death penalty. All inmates sentenced to life without parole would be required to work. The maximum amount of their earnings could be used for reparations to their victims would be raised from 50% to 70%. And the execution methods would be exempted from public oversight. Supporters say that the death penalty system in California is broken, but it should be mended, that is corrected, not ended. Supporters say that speeding up the death penalty appeals process would save taxpayers $30 million annually. Opponents say that Prop 66 is confusing and poorly written and would be subject to costly legal challenges, and that additional layers of appeals and construction of new prison facilities would cost taxpayers millions, resulting in this proposition. The total raised in support is $4.9 million from the California Correctional Peace Officers Association, which again is prison guard union, and they are funding the opposition to Prop 62, which would eliminate the death penalty. The Peace Officers Research Association of California, and the California Association of Highway Patrolmen. So basically the top three funders for the measure are law enforcement groups. The top three donors Well, the total raised against the measure is $10 million, and the top three donors are Nicholas McCown, a Silicon Valley entrepreneur and professor of electrical engineering, and another donor for Prop 62. Tom Steyer, is an American hedge fund manager, philanthropist, and environmentalist, and he's also a major donor for Prop 62 to eliminate the death penalty. And then Reed Hastings is the co-founder of Netflix, a philanthropist, and he's also a major donor to Prop 62 to eliminate the death penalty and to Prop 57. That is up to date as of October 16th. This was just a few of the ballot initiatives, and you can watch the other videos in this series. Thank you, and I hope this has been helpful.